It's Winged Nation on MRN.com. A full hour, an entire hour, 60 minutes of dirt. You'll get dirt in your beer.
Beer.
An earful of, well, dirt. Let's get dirty now. Here are Steve Post and Ashley Stremme.
Oh, yeah, let's get dirty now. All right, welcome aboard. It is Wing Nation here on Motor Racing Network. We are talking sprint car racing, and we are having a great, great time doing it. Kendra Jacobs, she has gone to Knoxville. Imagine that. So Ashley Stremme, Joe Deal's little girl's in the house.
Right.
Welcome aboard, Ashley. Good to see you. How are you?
I am doing well. How about yourself, Pussy?
Fantastic, fantastic. Really, really good. We've got a great show. Joining us in the Hercules Tire Hotline are Shane Stewart, winner of Winter Heat. We're going to talk 360 racing in the state of Florida with Danny Martin Jr. and Frankie Kerr going to join us to talk about the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and his upcoming induction in June. So it is going to be a great show, and we are so glad that everyone has joined us here on the Motor Racing Network. And before we get started, want to give a shout-out to our new friends. Woohoo! Who doesn't love new friends? Listen to this, folks. If you are in Chicago, you are listening to us on WCGO 1590. We've made it to radio. And I'll tell you what, we're really excited about. Hey, face it, here's the reality of this thing. Little things really get us excited, and
Absolutely.
our branch into radio here at the Motor Racing Network, where we started as radio, it's really cool. So we welcome aboard the folks at WCGO listening for the first time this week to Wing Nation, and we are glad to have you on
Super
board.
cool.
Yes,
In
it
the
really,
city
really
of
is.
Tri-Town.
Ashley is in the house, and we seem to start off with this about every time, but I think it's so cool. Ashley grew up going to sprint car racing in Pennsylvania. She came down here, married one of those NASCAR guys, David
Yeah.
Stremme, but this story has a happy ending. She converted him to dirt track loving guy, building chassis, dirt modified chassis, lethal chassis, and I know we've chit-chatted a little bit here. The sky's the limit, and the workload is heavy. It's busy time of the year for you guys, but all
Yeah.
is well.
Absolutely. We're truly blessed. We have 13 cars sitting in the shop. We've just
Oh,
moved
my
shops
gosh.
for the second time. We needed more space. We have 13 cars sitting in there right now that will all be leaving in the next week. Our first race is in Georgia next week. And it's been crazy. I never thought an asphalt guy could build a dirt car, but he's managed to do it, and in pretty good fashion. The
Yes.
good Lord has truly blessed us with what we're doing right
Yes, no doubt about it. You have been blessed. David's got incredible talent in building and in driving the cars.
Yes.
And many, many wins, big wins, and has become the hot chassis in dirt modified racing. So it's so cool. I just love what's happening.
now. Let me
That's
knock on that wood real quick.
the nature of the sport. You all know the nature of the sport. Enjoy it while you've got
That's
it,
right.
because someone else could build a better mousetrap
That's
next week.
exactly
So
true.
I mean, it's just the nature of it. So hey, let's start off by looking at our Valco Racing Wheels results page. It was the Lucas Oil Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic at Premier Speedway down in Australia, the land down under.
That's right.
Oh, boy.
My guy, Jamie Veal.
Veal picked up his first classic win. Top 5, Jamie Veal. See,
Let's say
meal
that.
I got meal on my mind, it's lunchtime. Kerry Madsen, Robbie Farr, Kyle Hurst, Brad Sweet, the second 10, Brooke Tatnell, Randy Hannigan, James McFadden, Jason Sides, and Terry McCarl. Strong showing by the American drivers, but it was an Aussie that picked up the win. And Jamie Veal, first-time winner of the Classic. Ashley, and we've talked to Jamie Veal on the program.
Well, you have.
Another little thing about Ashley is the Australian accent drives her wild. So yeah, exactly.
I can't pull myself together.
It's
Steve
all-
ends up doing the
we've had-
entire interview by
We've
himself.
attempted Jamie Veal. That didn't work. We attempted to interview Kerry Madsen. That didn't work. We saved those for days Kendra's here. But really cool for Jamie because not only all Australians want to win the Classic, as do all Americans want to win the Knoxville Nationals.
Absolutely.
But Jamie's hometown is in the town that track is in.
That's awesome.
So it's probably the equivalent to Brian Brown finally winning the Knoxville Nationals.
No
I would
doubt.
guess
Yeah,
is what it is.
absolutely.
Brownie lives up the road a little bit, but it's probably
or Leg Posse winning when the Outlaws
well,
come to town.
the only difference is that happens a little bit more. That happens on a quasi-regular basis. So really, really cool. So that's it. Now, this will be the last week, well, maybe one more week of a slimmed-down version of the Valco Reels Racing page, because after we get into next week, it's
gonna
game
blow
on.
up.
It really is. Valco Racing Wheels, made by racers for racers. You can find more information at www.valco.com. Now, really cool off-season for one of our NASCAR guys that went the different track. He didn't come from asphalt to dirt track racing. He started dirt. Now he lives with us in the asphalt world of NASCAR, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., but he also dabbles back in the dirt track now.
That's right.
And man, Stenhouse loves his dirt track racing, and he's had a great off season running his midget car. He finished 4th at Indy. He won at Fort Wayne, Fort Collins, won at one of the races, and then had qualified for the A-Main, had a solid 13th or 17th place finish at the Chili Bowl. So we all know the story with Stenhouse, okay? And we all know that he's shacking up with that girl Danica.
That's right.
Okay, it's all good. It's all good. They make a great couple. They're very happy together. Been together for quite some time now, though. So we had the NASCAR media tour last week. Okay, and I was just hanging out listening to Danica talk about NASCAR and what the plans are and all this other stuff, and it's like, okay, yeah, we're all excited about NASCAR. We really are. Can't wait to get started with the Daytona 500. But I said, I want to ask her, I wonder, what it's been like with Ricky this year with this resurgence on dirt. So had the chance, asked Danica about it, and here was her answer.
He is one happy boy when he can drive dirt cars, that's for sure. It just really makes him so happy. So between the indoor race he did in Indy or DeCoin and winning there, and it was very cool to be able to, be there. My parents were there. His dad was there. His sister was there. The only one that wasn't there was his mom, unfortunately. But so it was a lot of fun, and he just, honestly, he just loves driving those cars. It's I call it a cult. If anyone knows anyone that really loves dirt racing, it's like a cult. They talk about it all the time. They watch it on their computers. They watch it on TV if they possibly can, if it's available. They are watching fan scan, track scan, something, being able to see they're watching it live feed of positions and lap times, and I'm thinking this can't be that exciting, but they love it. So it just shows how much he enjoys the sport. And then to go to Chili Bowl, and I think he gets more nervous for Chili Bowl than just about anything else. So when he made the A-Main, I was really happy for him, and it was very cool. And I mean, he won the B to get into the A-Main, so it was really cool. But I think that, again, going back to some of the things that I've said about being happy and that really propelling results, I think that will be his case. I think that, him just being able to do some things that he enjoyed in the off season, and then obviously winning always feels good. I think that's going to carry over into the year and be a positive for him.
Positive for him, indeed. Great stuff from Danica. We kind of, when you say, oh, it's a cult, we all kind of go, well, wait a minute. And then when you listen to her, it's like, well,
that's true.
We do. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we watch Race Monitor.
And it kind of sounds like she's becoming part of that cult as well.
Well, no doubt about it. She has. I've caught up with her at Volusia along the way, and Volusia was early in the whole deal, and she was really getting her arms around it. But now her whole family was there when he won into coin, and really just a neat thing. Bring them on. Everyone is welcome here in the dirt track world. Bring them on. So really cool. The other thing I want to mention, and again, we don't want to go too far down the NASCAR road here and we have great programming here on Motor Racing Network. We cover NASCAR. We're the voice of NASCAR, for Pete's sake. But you take a driver, and really this is similarly with David Stremme as well. You take the drivers that make it to NASCAR's elite division. All they've done their whole life is win. Okay, Stremme just won. It seemed like every time he got in the car in the short track ranks, and then he climbed the ladder, and the next level he won, and the next level he won. Stenhouse won everything, won USAC championships, drove for Tony Stewart. Even Stenhouse won Xfinity Series and won 2 championships. And you come to NASCAR Sprint Cup Series racing, and the brakes come on the winning. It has got to be just brutal. You've seen it a little bit with David,
absolutely.
and you've seen the resurgence in his attitude as he starts winning these modified races. Probably the same thing with Stenhouse winning that race at DeCoin, and just that spring in the step that these guys have.
Well, and Danica said it best. It's one word: happy.
Yes.
And it's remarkable. And, I can speak for the whole deal because I've seen it with David, and it is a whole new light. He's a whole new person, and he's not under the pressure that he was at one time. It's enjoyable again, and the politics and all that stuff that come along with when you're big time auto racing. It is a new light, and it's remarkable the person that they become when they're at the dirt track and they get to strap in the car and have fun. Even though it's still their job, they're having fun and they're happy.
Indeed, it is. And it's going to be fun to see if that does parlay into some success for Ricky. We certainly hope so. And, of course, Ricky is always welcome anytime there's a sprint car or midget car race. He is a welcome addition to any field because he is that guy that can win at any time, at any point. So really cool stuff. Great to hear. We always try to do something a little different here on Wing Nation. Whoever thought we'd bring Danica Patrick?
I know, right? On a dirt show.
Yeah, on dirt
I
show.
love
But
it.
great stuff. Hey, we need to step away. When we come back, joining us in the Hercules or on the Hercules Hotline is Shane Stewart. He is the winner of Winter Heat and looking for some good stuff this year. We'll talk to Shane in just a moment.
I'm Shane Stewart, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
The 25th year of the Lucas Oil American Sprint Car Series is about to begin.
Expanded national and regional tours, over 150 events across the United States, and some of sprint car racing's biggest names and rising stars.
The 25th anniversary of the Lucas Oil ASCS is one you don't want to miss. Find out when the American Sprint Car Series is near you in 2016 at ASCSRacing.com. Find us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter,
And catch all the action away from the track live at RacingBoys.com.
Classic Ink USA Screen Printing and Embroidery is constantly testing the limits of custom racewear and specialized embroidery. Headquartered in Western Pennsylvania, Classic Ink holds the highest standard, maximizing your return as well as the ultimate customer satisfaction. From track swag fanwear to quick crew wear, Classic Ink has you covered. Their dedicated staff and designers will keep your race team and fans looking sharp. Contact Classic Ink today and get your team ahead of the competition. www.classicinkusa.com. That's Classic Ink, at the track and on your back.
When the smoke settles, the entertainment never stops.
Experience kind of outweighs youth.
On race weekends, your favorite NASCAR personality is an everyday superhero.
Kyle Busch driving for his life right now.
But when they leave the racetrack, they're just like everyone else.
Our lives are so much different than what people may think they are.
I'm Susie Armstrong. Join me on a daily journey as we discuss the hot topics and engaging personalities of NASCAR Nation. Ned Jarrett's World of Racing, weekdays on the Motor Racing Network.
This is Winged Nation. Here's Steve Post and Ashley Stremme.
Welcome back. We are having a great time. So glad you joined us here on Wing Nation. And by the way, I want to mention this also. We are now on YouTube as well. So if you want to listen, we'd love to have you listen. But if you want to watch, go over to YouTube and find us there, or you can find all the archives of the show as well. So really fun stuff as we continue to grow the Wing Nation empire, if you will.
Absolutely.
Wow, really
you
cool.
started as a P, Steve Post. Kudos to you.
Well, no, it's all been fun. It really has. Hey, let's go and talk to the driver who is on the Classic Inc. pole position. Our first interview of the show here joins us via the Hercules Tire Hotline. Shane Stewart joins us. Hello, Shane. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
I appreciate you guys having me on once again. Thank you.
You got it. We tried to get you last week, but you had a little bit of the Chili Bowl flu. Is that what I heard?
Oh.
I'm still fighting it actually, but I'm on the downhill side of it. But last week was pretty bad for me. I was trying to actually remember the last time I'd had a fever, and I think it was when I was a little kid. So I don't know what I got. I don't know if it was from the Chili Bowl or what, but it put me on my back for a couple of days.
Well, apparently it didn't keep you down. 2 wins, a top 10, and a 12th place finish, which we don't even need to talk about that, at Kokopah. Unbelievable start to the beginning of the year. It's not technically your season, I guess, so to speak. How does this really just, I mean, it's got to be great to come off with these wins and just roll into this season. Volusia coming up in just a few weeks.
Yeah, it was a great week for everybody at LMR. Obviously, it was a lot of fun racing Kyle. I don't get to do that very often, and he always keeps everybody on their toes. And racing with him, I say it every time. It's honestly like racing Donnie, but it was fun racing with him. And the cool thing about that week is we actually tried a lot of different stuff than what we ran last year, and it seemed to work. So I'm hoping that we can take that information, take it into Volusia. I know Volusia's a lot different racetrack than Kokopah is, but hopefully we can take that information we learned and continue our success into the part of the series that really counts for us for the World of Outlaws points. So, but it was a big week for us to be able to beat Kyle the way we did on a track like that was pretty special to me. And, like I said, I enjoyed racing with him. So that was definitely a fun week.
Fun week for sure. And Shane, we're certainly not going to ask you to tell all the secrets, but are they combinations, chassis, engine type things that you guys played around with out there that you felt like you made some advances on?
Well, a few things with the motors, but we're still with Ryder engines. We're still with cool chassis. We just tried a couple things with the chassis, same car, but just, trying to trying to, evolve ourselves to make ourselves smarter in certain situations. Kokopall through pretty much every type of racetrack that you can throw at a team. That we had our sticky surface on Wednesday. We had our slick kind of rubber down racetrack on the first night on Friday, and I think we were able to learn every night, to put momentum towards our team. So, the thing is you can't stop learning. You got to always continue to push yourself, especially, to be able to win the World of Outlaw points deal. So, to be able to compete with Ricky and Donnie, you got to continue to do that, and that's what we're trying to do.
I'm glad you mentioned the point deal. You talk about your guys, your crew guys a lot. It really seems like you guys are really starting to mesh. The end of last season, now already into this season. You picked up some big wins last year. I'm going to mark it right now. I believe you're going to be the 2016 World of Outlaw champion, and I'm just putting that out there because.
Well, I hope I can. I hope I can live up to that. I tell you what, we have a great team. As everybody knows that's involved in any type of form of racing, everybody has to get along for it to work. The crew chief has to work with the driver really well. The driver has to be able to work with the crew chief. But what we have is that our crew guys all get along as well. Away from the racetrack, they all like to hang out with each other, and I think that helps when we get to the racetrack because everybody's focused and they all do their jobs really well. So. And on top of that, we've got two great car owners with Justin Marks and of course Kyle, and they're both racers as well, so they know that we're going to have bad nights, and those guys are never there to micromanage us. They always allow us to do our job and obviously give us the parts and the funds to be able to do it in the right way, which is you can't run out there on the road full time and be able to compete the way we do without those things in place. So, who knows what's going to happen this year, but I really feel like we got a really strong team again. We learned a lot last year, and I know that each and every night we're going to be giving it 100%. So we'll see how it all shakes out, but I feel like we're going to have a really strong season again.
Chatting with Shane Stewart here on Wing Nation. He joins us via the Hercules Tire Hotline. We have a question from Twitter, and, of course, we love our social media. We're on Twitter at Wing Nation. Rick Hunt has a question, and Shane, his question is, what is the most challenging track on the Outlaw schedule for you and your guys?
Oh, man. They could all be challenging at times. Oh, gosh.
The one you're not winning at that week.
Oh, I tell you what. There is one track that always seems to get the best of me. It's Hopstop. Hopstop is a unique track. It's really small and it's really flat. It's almost like racing on a track in Australia, which I seem to struggle at those tracks as well. So I would say if there's one track out there that's had my number for several years, it would probably be Hopstop for sure.
Love it. So on the flip side of that, what's your favorite track that you go to?
Oh, there's a couple. My big track, my favorite track is either Eldora or Knoxville. Little track is hands down Peevely. We always seem to put really good races on at Peevely, and for a big racetrack, we always seem to put on good shows at Knoxville and Eldora as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Boy, you guys really, really bring it. Of course, won the big one at Eldora last year and took home the big check from that one. Shane, beyond the Chili Bowl flu, everything good at home? I think we might have heard the little one in the background. Everything good at home? Daddy duty still going well? Everything well there?
Yeah, man, everything's good. She's getting big. She's walking and becoming a little lady. So along with that, the attitude side of things. So we're still learning each other, but it's been fun. She's been a really good baby.
Oh, just wait on attitude, son. Just wait on attitude until the teenage years. That is great. Shane, we certainly wish you the best this season. Can't wait. We'll catch up with you, obviously, in person down at Volusia. But thanks for taking time. Hope you continue to get rid of that flu and get all healed up before the dirt slugs flying down in Florida. But thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation.
Anytime. I appreciate it. Thank you.
There we go. Driver of the Larson Marks car, Shane Stewart. Your pick.
He is my pick. I know Justin personally. I've gotten to know Kyle, and he said it best. They're both racers. There's no pressure because they know what it takes. But ultimately, just the way that whole team is meshing, they always try to blame it on the driver when things aren't good.
Yeah, they don't play that game, yeah.
No, it just the way they're meshing, I think it's really going to line some stuff up that's going to be pretty amazing this year.
I like your pick. I almost like it. I everything you said is true. Everything you said is true. One of the reasons that I like your pick, and I'm certainly not going with anybody just yet because I haven't even sorted out what I'm doing.
Tomorrow for lunch.
My question is how long can Schatz keep just
Absolutely.
before something happens where he runs through a bad stretch of 3 races?
Right,
I mean, for
absolutely.
Pete's sake. So I don't know that. But
Schatz is always the factor.
Yeah,
You hear that name ultimately, but I just feel like Shane is in a good place.
Yeah, he's a great
I feel
spot.
like that team is in a good place.
I agree with you there.
I just feel like the aces are on the table. It's just a matter of how they play them.
How they play them and how they play out.
Yes.
Exactly. That is Shane Stewart. He is on our Classic Ink pole position. Classic Ink, custom screen printing and embroidery. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, towels, hats, shorts, you name it. They've got it. Corporate, other sports, school events. Just dial them up. Classic Ink USA. ClassicInkUSA.com to find out more. When we come back, we are going to step from a guy that is running for the World of Outlaw Championship to a driver that makes his business down in the Florida area with 360 sprints. Danny Martin Jr. joins us next.
Hi, I'm Dale Blaney, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Aggressive Hydraulics, where we engineer the cylinders that move your business. We specialize in crafting hydraulic cylinders and components with superior precision and performance, making OEM products stronger and creating more opportunities for distributors and repair facilities. Crafting cylinders that operate on a global basis in a wide variety of industries and applications. Get aggressive with your cylinder challenges. Aggressive Hydraulics.
Tickets are moving fast for the Daytona 500 on Sunday, February 21st, and it's your one chance to be a part of the biggest race in a generation. The all-new Daytona is 31 million pounds of steel, forged by racing's greatest legends in the heat of battle for the most coveted trophy in NASCAR, the 2016 Daytona 500. Now, forever. Seats at the all-new Daytona will sell out. Guarantee yours now at 1-800-PIT-SHOP or Daytona500.com.
Leading the race in innovation, Freightliner Trucks designed the Cascadia Evolution to lower your real cost of ownership. When powered by the integrated Detroit powertrain with a DT12 automated manual transmission and intelligent powertrain management, the Cascadia Evolution can achieve up to a 13% fuel efficiency increase over the first generation EPA 2010 compliant Cascadia model, keeping you on the road and in the race longer. Learn more about the Cascadia Evolution at FreightlinerTrucks.com. Freightliner Trucks. Run smart.
This is Winged Nation. Here's Steve Post and Ashley Stremme.
Welcome back. We are having a great time. So glad that you have joined us here on Wing Nation on MRN.com. Let's go back to the Hercules Tire Hotline. Joining us from Sarasota, Florida, or thereabouts. That's at least the hometown. Danny Martin Jr. is on the line. Hello, Danny. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hey, how you doing? I appreciate you having me on.
Doing great. You had a chance a couple years ago to chat with you a little bit, and with racing kicking off and racing in Florida kicking off, kind of wanted to dial you back up and see what was going on. So obviously, it looks like the numbers have been good. What you been up to? What's the racing been like over the last few years?
It's been good. Still teamed up with Doug Shaw at Shaw Racing Chassis. We won the championship 13 and 14 with the Top Gun Sprint. Then this past year, we chose to do some 360 racing with the USCS. We missed a couple of Top Gun shows, but had some good runs with him, won some races, just kind of having fun, just doing, going whenever he feels like it, when I feel like it, not chasing points, just, like I said, trying to have fun.
Now, I noticed that you pretty much stay local to Florida, which, hey, it's in your backyard. You might as well do it. Do you have any willingness or wants to travel? You can come up to North Carolina. They run them up here.
Yeah, but I actually have 2 kids. I have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. Actually, she'll be 1 tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday.
And I got a good job, so just trying to keep a roof over their head. And I mean, I would if I could make it work, but I tried when I was younger, and it was just, it's so hard for a Florida guy to get recognition unless you said like you relocate, and at the time the finances just weren't there. I was trying to go to go to college and all, and we were traveling every week. We were going with the USCS. We ran with them for 3 years and made all the races, runner-up in points all 3 years to Terry Gray and Kenny Adams. So I mean, it's I would like to, yes, but I'm kind of almost 30, and like I said, I got a good family. So I mean, I'm happy just hanging out and having fun, I guess.
Well, a couple of things there. I want to stick to the 360 topic and then talk a little bit about some other stuff. The state of 360 racing in Florida. I mean, I know there's the Eagle Jet Top Gun Series. I know that USCS. I think there's some maybe a race or two down there. ASCS has a tour that may step over there a little bit. Just kind of describe for those who are not familiar with it. What's the 360 racing like down in the state of Florida?
There isn't much of it. That's why, like, I was saying, the Florida guys, they don't seem to get much recognition other than the Top Gun Series because there's just really no 360 race. And you have February 20th is the 360 Winter Nationals. A lot of big guys come down. That's a big race, and that's about it. Last year, the USCS actually came down to Ocala for one weekend. But that's about it. Like, you got a working guy, he's got to take Friday off. If you want to go 360 racing, kind of look at the USCS schedule, that's about the closest thing, and go, when they come to Georgia or southern Tennessee or maybe South Carolina, you got to kind of gear up for it. And it's 8 hours to Atlanta for us. So anything past that, like I said, you got to leave the night before, you're missing a day of work, and there's just not much 360 racing down here. Until this year, Michael Miller's deal with SOS, he got ASCS sanctioned now, and he's supposed to have some races in Florida. Pete Walton with the USCS, he's supposed to be down a couple races up in North Florida and down in Ocala. And they're talking about having one at Henry County, which is down by Okeechobee. So it should be better this year, but in the past it's just been not much of it unless you travel. And the diesel prices the way they were a couple of years ago are just real tough for everybody.
Yeah, it is a challenge being down there. I need to mention that the Top Gun Series actually kicks off this weekend at East Bay, so racing will begin down there this weekend. You mentioned your job, Danny. Now, am I right? You're in the engine building business?
Yeah, we actually shut that down.
Okay.
Car owner Doug Shaw rents. He has a building he rents out, and there's actually a candle making shop here that rents from him, and we rent 5 other buildings.
Yeah.
And I went and helped him one day. The engine shop just got real slow. The one-man band, it was real tough, trying to make it. Everyone wants things for so cheap. And I ended up going over to the candle shop and helping him fix a forklift one day. And he asked me if I wanted a full-time job. And everyone I get to laugh, oh, you went from racing the baddest, short track car and building engines to making candles, and everyone giggles a little bit. But he made me an offer, and he's super cool. He sponsors the car. When I need a Friday off, there's no argument. Everyone else has to go through one of the secretaries and fill all this stuff. I just say, hey, Steve, we're going racing. He's like, all right, see ya. If I win, he usually pays me for the day. So super cool guy. We're actually going to miss the Top Gun race this weekend because he purchased a building, and we have to be in there by Monday. So I'm going to spend Saturday, Sunday moving. But we kind of shut the engine shop down, and I'm down here, I guess, doing maintenance, if you want to call it that, and helping them.
It's all right.
Hey, it still pays the bills, and everybody knows what they're getting for Christmas. Candles.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
Steady income's nice. Not having to worry, is a motor coming, or I need some cylinder heads to work on. It's there every week, so it's pretty neat, I guess.
That's awesome. Well, I've got to ask, because we've been talking a lot today about asphalt guys coming to the dirt world, but you're a dirt guy that's been dabbling in the asphalt world.
Yes, ma'am. We Eagle Jet, Mr. Rick Gabert, he sponsors the Top Gun Series. Him and Band Enterprises, they also own a late model team, along with Doug Elliott and Goodrich Seafood. They have a late model team, and last year, whoever won the championship got to run the late model a couple races, and unfortunately Mr. Rick got sick, and we only got to run a couple shows, but supposedly he's better, and this year we're gonna try it again. We're supposed to do spend 3 years together and see if we can make something of it. it's kind of tough for them because I don't know anything about setup. I'm just trying to tell them what I feel, and they're working with me, but they're super cool people. They spend the time to go testing, so we're going to give it a try. Like I said, this year we're going to run some Top Gun shows if we can. Try to run more 360 stuff. But the closer ones, just look at the Michael Miller ASCS deal, look at the Pete Walton USCS deal, the Top Gun, see what's good, and throw in some asphalt late model stuff in there. And just, like I said, not chasing points, just having fun.
Well, you kind of answered. We just actually had a question on Twitter from Jim Bushields about USCS. Are you going to be able to run those Florida shows? And you actually answered it before we could ask the question. We've been friends with Pete Walton for a lot of years, and his tour, we catch them when they come here to the Carolinas. We always have so much fun doing it. So is there a goal as to putting that all together? How many races and how many of those Friday afternoons you're going to have to hit off for a day off?
Nah, not really a goal. Like Doug, he kind of put down the closer USCS. He wrote down on a sheet. He wrote down the ASCS deal.
Yeah.
The Top Gun stuff. I really, as far as the late model deal goes, we haven't really put a schedule together, but we're just going to kind of take everything and, like I said, just kind of go from there. Just pick and choose and have fun and just see what we can do. We're kind of over the point stuff. I would like to pick an ASCS tour or a USCS and run for points. But I just, with the family and work, I just can't do it. And we won 3 of the Top Gun points. So, I mean, it's just time to have fun.
That's what it's all about.
Yep, absolutely.
And you mentioned your kids several times. You said you have 2 of them. Is there any interest in any race in developing there yet?
Not really. Mama's in the horses, and so like I said, they're girls, and they're with Mama a lot. So no interest in racing, not yet. But the 1-year-old, the one Paisley May Martin is the 1-year-old. She's going to be a tough one. I can just tell, and I kind of feel the horses being not so interesting soon, and probably wanting to get in the race cars. And I just feel like we're keeping the engine shop, the machine shop, just for personal use. I see her down there trying to turn wrenches and doing that kind of stuff. Brooklyn, she's older, she's 5, and she's probably going to be the girly girl. But I don't know. As of right now, not really.
Stay tuned, though. You never know.
There might be a little hope there with the younger one.
Exactly. Candles and horses for the older one, wrenches and sprint cars for the younger one, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, Mom really likes racing. She helps me out. I'm really lucky to have good parents, and like the mom does their races that Jamie can't make and helps with the kids and allows me to do that. So I see Brooklyn probably doing the horse thing, and then Paisley going, me and Mom going racing.
There you go. That's great. That is great. Well, Danny, we appreciate the time. I know that you were dealing with a busy week. You talked about moving and everything, so we appreciate you and your boss, man, allowing you the time to come and chat with us about it, and just more so sharing what's going on with you and then the state of sprint car racing in the state of Florida. We wish you the best dirt track asphalt along the way, and somewhere along the way I know our paths will cross, and we look forward to that. But thanks for joining us here today on Wing Nation.
Okay, well, thank you very much. You've had some big names on lately, and it's an honor to be a part of that. Thanks for thinking of me.
No problem. There we go. That's Danny Martin Jr. joining us on the Hercules Tire Hotline. Just great stories from border to border and coast to coast in sprint car racing. Love every one of them.
And all their kids.
And all their kids, exactly. And all their kids. But he goes from an engine builder to working in a candle shop.
Hey, whatever brings in the Benjamins.
He said the word that all sprint car racers would love: steady income.
That's right.
Steady income. That is great. Great to catch up with Danny Martin Jr. I actually chatted with him at Carolina Speedway years ago when his 5-year-old was probably 1, and we talked about it at the time, just being a dad and all those fun things. So he's always been one of those young men that I've kind of followed along with, and love getting the chance to chat with him here. Another guy I love getting the chance to chat with. This is one of those guys that we end up in the NASCAR garage talking more sprint car racing than we do about NASCAR racing. Has an incredible 2-career run in the sport of auto racing, and recently was inducted into announced he's going to be inducted into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. The great Frankie Kerr. He joins us next. Stay with us, everyone.
This is Winged Nation on MRN.com. Steve and Kendra will be right back.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there. Whether you're running on dirt or running a job, our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
The 25th year of the Lucas Oil American Sprint Car Series is about to begin.
Expanded national and regional tours, over 150 events across the United States, and some of Sprint Car Racing's biggest names and rising stars.
The 25th anniversary of the Lucas Oil ASCS is one you don't want to miss. Find out when the American Sprint Car Series is near you in 2016 at ASCSRacing.com. Find us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter,
and get all the action away from the track live at RacingBoys.com.
Live sports are the one true reality entertainment, where a single dramatic moment can become timeless. In NASCAR, Motor Racing Network's live broadcasts elevate your senses to the sights, sounds, and struggles taking place on the racetrack.
Keselowski to the bottom of the racetrack. He tries to slide up. Newman is there. Sideways is Keselowski.
The power of radio to the imagination of the listener. Tune in to the Motor Racing Network. Visit MRN.com for an affiliate list in your local area.
This is Winged Nation. Here's Steve Post and Ashley Stremme.
Welcome back. We are so glad you joined us here on MRN Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tire. Now, one of our favorite spots, and I know Kendra and I talk about this all the time, is the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame, located right off from turn number 2 in the famed Marion County Fairgrounds in Knoxville, Iowa. Just a great spot. And one of the things we like to talk about is their Expand the Dream program. They're working on just building more storage facilities so that they can keep the artifacts in a better spot.
Cool.
Right now, I think it's a car wash where they keep them, and they want to keep these, you have these classic, beautiful artifacts, and they need better storage, so they're doing that.
What if we just, expand the Hall of Fame to, turn 1 and then maybe down the back stretch a little bit, and then you have more suites and...
Well, Bob was sharing some details with me, and expansion is in the process.
Oh, cool.
So, I think that's what this Expand the Dream program is. You can find out more information at SprintCarHof.com, SprintCarHof. One of the things we like to do is we like to talk about some of the great Hall of Famers that celebrate birthdays this week. So on Monday would have been the birthday of Frank Curtis and Randy Martin. Hey, today, not that he's a Hall of Famer, except for in Ciciana, his wife's world, Brady Bacon.
Brady Bacon.
Happy birthday to Brady Bacon. We need to create a T-shirt. Brady
It's your
Bacon.
birthday, Bacon.
Brady Bacon is the best T-shirt creator in all of racing. And him and his wife, Ciciana, they're just great folks. I had a chance to hang with them actually on Beer Hill last year when they came over for Pennsylvania
Beer
Speedway.
Hill loves them. For him not being posse, I'm impressed.
Yeah, well, they love bacon.
That's right.
Who doesn't
Don't
love
we all?
bacon? Who doesn't love bacon? Tomorrow, the crowd pleaser's birthday. Craig Delansky, another one of those guys that we just absolutely love. Jimmy Bryan's birthday on Thursday with Travis Roots, Barney Oldfield, Jerry Hoyt. Saturday, listen to this. Saturday's birthdays, Jason Myers, Dale Blaney, Tony Jones, and Rico Abreu.
Well, that's the list.
That is quite the list. Now, looking back to Thursday, Jimmy Bryan, and I love these old school stories. What's that? What are you?
You're looking at my. This and it's making me giggle.
Jimmy the Cowboy Bryan, a Phoenix native. Okay, in high school, he was an all sports guy. Okay, not like high school that we have now. His all sports: pole vaulting, diving, swimming, water skiing, and rodeo.
That's the one that got me, was the water skiing.
Yeah.
I don't see that being like a school sport.
Well, I'm not sure they had school sports other than what they did. I'm not sure. Maybe it was. Maybe there was a water skiing team in Phoenix then. But so he was big into athletics when he was in high school. Right before he joined the service, though, he discovered racing. Okay? Well, he went into the service. He served in World War II as the Air Force, but when he came out, that racing bug got him. And he had all kinds of success in the early 50s running sprint cars, midgets up over into California from Phoenix. Then he came east. He actually won a sprint car race, the Ted Horn Classic at Williams Grove. Took it off from Tiny Heinerschitz. Or Heinerschitz it is, I guess it is. I've always butchered his name. I know one of the great classics, and everyone will correct me, but I said it both ways. That way I'm 50%. I'm right one of the times. But he won it, and won at Williams Grove. And then in 1958, he won the Indianapolis 500. Okay, and this is all great, and he retired at that point, or semi-retired, because he said dirt tracks were too dangerous. Came back to Indy in 59. Yes.
Have you seen the pictures at Indy of the racing back then? And
Yeah.
he's saying that
said it's
sprint car racing is dangerous.
I understand.
With their leather.
Yeah,
helmets.
exactly. Yeah, no roll cage or anything. Struggled at Indy in 1959 and struggled in 1960 after winning the race in 58. And so he decided to go back more racing to get his game on. Well, unfortunately, it did not turn out well. Langhorne Dirt Track, his first race back on a dirt track after the Indianapolis 500 struggles. June 19th, 1960, early in the race, tragic accident killed him. And it is all part of the history, and in the history of sprint car racing, which is told so well at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame, what they have put together, these stories. And I know that, we're not big on getting in here. We're rah people, and we don't like the stories that tragically end like Jimmy Bryan's did. But a lot of times that's our history in the sport. It was a dangerous sport, and Jimmy was one of those guys that tragically gave his life very early age. I didn't write this down, but I think early 30s.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, mid 30s maybe when he tragically died. So just part of the history of the sport, and it's just so well told at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame.
It's a beautiful place.
It really is. They do such a good job there, and just amazing stuff there. And again, they are doing the fundraising program, the Expand the Dream program, facility expansion, endowment campaign. One of the other things we always cut up about, you think I'm joking though. Now, of course, we're talking long shot here. Now we're talking long shot. Okay, we're talking long shot here. Long shot is that if some poor woman ever gets into a situation where she decides to wed the postman. Okay, and again, that's where I'm talking long shot here. Okay.
Hey, anything's possible.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you what, that's long shot there. Okay, I'm registering at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame gift shop. That's where I'm going to register at. That's right.
Get you a brick.
Yeah. Buy me a brick for my wedding day. Buy me a brick for my wedding day.
That is what I will do for you. I will buy you a brick.
I'm registering at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame gift shop. Now, again, I mentioned this is a long shot. We know this is a long shot. The past 6 or 8 years prove this is a long shot, but I'm telling you what, that's how good the gift shop is there.
I promise to buy you a brick. I will, me personally, I will get you that.
Yeah, because
I don't know what it's going to say.
You know it's a long, you know the odds of that happening.
I just want to put it down that you know ahead of time what my gift to you will be.
Well,
I'm not sure what I'm going to write on it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But there will be a brick for you.
Well, a guy that is going to have more than a brick at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. He will be inducted in June of this year. 4-time All-Star champ, 53 wins, 4-time Ohio Speed Week champ, over 250 race wins, and just an all-around good guy, one of my favorite people. Frankie Kerr joins us on the line. Hello, Frankie. Welcome back to the show.
How you doing, guys?
I am doing fantastic. Frankie, how did you find out that you're going to be inducted into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame?
Well, it's really strange. I was actually laying in bed, and my phone started showing I had messages, and I'm thinking, who's sending me a message at 11:30 at night? And finally I looked over there, and they're like, congratulations, you're in the Hall of Fame, kept going, congratulations. I'm thinking, these people are crazy, I don't know what's, I didn't get no notice or know about it. And so then I got online and I looked and I was on there on the list. And I was like, wow. I woke my wife up, Vicky, and I said, hey, hon. I said, we finally got the Hall of Fame. I said, and, now I can go ahead and die. Everything, my life is complete.
Don't say that. Oh, my goodness gracious. I mean, I totally understand where you're coming from, but don't say something like that. Lordy. How cool is it when you got those text messages? Has it sunk in yet that, I mean, you said now that you can die, but how cool is it to know what you've done, not only in the dirt world, but in the asphalt world, and now you're going to be inducted into the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. How cool is that, really?
I mean, your whole life you race, and you don't think of those things until, when I started looking back after I retired, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I did accomplish a lot. And so everybody kept saying, oh, you did a lot, and you should be proud of, what you did.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really started looking at it. I'm like, I was pretty proud of what I have accomplished in the dirt world. And, really, the Hall of Fame it's something that every dirt driver looks forward to. To get in there and be part of that. I mean, there's nothing like it. I've had people from, Danny Smith sent me a message from Australia. Congratulations. Awesome. So, I mean, it's a big deal. I mean, bigger than people can never realize.
Really, really cool. That is for sure, and we can't wait to have the celebration unfold. Now, Frankie, one of the things. You really ended your sprint car career early, 39 years old. And I know you've told the story before, but we have so many new people here on Wing Nation. The decision to call it, and in fact, you won a race at Fremont and retired right after that. What all went into that, and what was your thinking at the time there?
It's kind of weird. We're right in middle of Speed Week. We're leading All-Star points. We're leading Ohio points. We already won a couple of races already, for Speed Weeks. And, it's just we had a small accident with the truck and nothing that we couldn't patch up and keep going. And it was just everything was adding up. I was already building stuff for people down here. Already had my foot in the door at NASCAR. And I kept looking, at our kids, traveling all around the country in a motorhome and we homeschooled them. Then they went to school, and I'm like, maybe it's time to grow up and give them a real life, and just be able to spend some time with them. And that didn't work out too good because I came to NASCAR and worked 7 days a week. So
traveling 36 weekends a year.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't quite what I planned, but I gave them a different life, and that they've all graduated college, top of their class, every one of them, and they have great jobs now. I think, thank God to me and my wife, especially my wife, there to give them an upbringing that they needed. We just want to teach them values and be around, a quality of life that they should shoot for.
You talk about that and traveling, and I want to, just as a racer yourself, was there a drive that you wanted to get to the top level of the racing industry, being NASCAR, and you've made your path there, being a crew chief and whatnot in the top series of racing? Is that maybe what drove you because of the racing bug that you ultimately love?
I mean, racing's all I've really done. My whole life I raced since I was 6 years old. So, it's what I wanted to do, and it was my passion. And Vic always made fun of me. When we were playing Candyland or something with the kids, I just wouldn't let them win. I guess winning is in my nature, no matter what, or being the best, or trying to be the best. I didn't. If you just let everything be easy, then they don't realize how hard it. They don't have to work hard for it. So, I didn't want my kids to grow up having everything without working for it. So, I think that's how my life has been. I've always worked for every single thing I've ever, accomplished, and hard work will never hurt anyone, and then it shows what you can do.
And it has been amazing on both fronts. The NASCAR side with so much success and a great career there, and then, of course, the sprint car side, which will be all enshrined and talked about early June at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. What are you working on now, Frankie?
Well, right now we're working on speedway cars, as usual, like everybody last minute. And I changed jobs, so I'm at TriStar Motorsports now.
Okay.
And, we're trying to just change everything, for what I want. And it's a growing process for both sides to, get the product that you have to have for the racetrack. So we're just working away and trying to have a great year for David Starr.
Going to be fun, that's for sure. I love Mark Smith, really good guy over there at TriStar that runs it. You're at a good place, and we'll certainly catch up with you to talk sprint car racing. We may not talk about that NASCAR stuff much, but we'll talk about sprint car racing down in the garage at Daytona. Frankie, congratulations. I was so happy for you, and just can't wait to see how the celebration unfolds as we get closer and closer to June. But congratulations, and thanks for joining us.
I appreciate it, guys, and thank you. And I can bet you it's going to be a really good celebration.
I bet it will. I bet it will. That is the great Frankie Kerr. Absolutely amazing. A man to have two incredible careers all in motorsports. And I think he summed it up, hard work.
Absolutely.
That's what it boils down to.
That's all it takes.
Hard work. Pretty simple along the way. We need to step away. When we come back, we'll look at some opening dates. We'll cover some Central Pennsylvania news and notes and a whole lot more. Stay with us. We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Craig Kinzer, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Racers, that's who Valco wheels are. That's who they know, and racing is what they know. Valco Wheels focuses oval track and grassroots racing and understand racers need a quality wheel that fits your budget. With over 25 years experience, Valco Wheels produces the best product and give you face-to-face support and customer service at the track. Fast delivery, innovative products, problem solving. Find Valco Wheels at Valco.com on Twitter or Facebook, or call Valco Wheels at 609-758-7013. Valco Wheels.
The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa.
Honoring sprint car racing's greatest achievers.
25 historic sprint cars on display. A movie theater featuring sprint car racing films. And a breathtaking view of historic Knoxville Raceway. Go to SprintCarStuff.com for the largest sprint car gift shop on the planet. The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa.
This is Kyle Rickey, co-host of MRN.com's NASCAR Coast to Coast. Join me and Buddy Long on Wednesday, February 17th as NASCAR Coast to Coast returns for 2016. We'll have all the latest from K&N East and West, wheel and modified tours, and local track winners, news, and more. NASCAR Coast to Coast returns at noon Eastern, Wednesday, February 17th on MRN.com.
This is Winged Nation. Here's Steve Post and Ashley Stremme.
We have covered the gamut. We have really done a lot of dirt track talking today, and of course it continues all season long here on Wing Nation, and it continues on Slinging Dirt. When do you and David start off?
February 23rd.
All right.
Same bat place, different bat time.
Okay, what are we doing with that?
We are going to be at 1 o'clock following this awesome show.
I see. So we're the warm-up band.
That's right.
We're the warm-up band, the undercard for the premiere show.
Stop it. That is not true whatsoever.
That's good.
We're hoping to bring some of the sprint car fans
to the dirt late model and modified
to the dirt
side.
late model and modified side as well.
So in other words, instead of us rushing you out of the studio, you're going to be rushing us.
That's right. move along. Come on.
Well, looking forward to it. That's February 23rd, Slinging Dirt here on MRN.com and across the board. Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, can't wait for them to kick it off. I think it's going to be a really good year. It's their 25th season. They kick it off on March 11th at Golden Triangle Speedway in Beaumont, Texas. They follow it up the next night at Battleground Speedway in Highland, Texas. So they're going to be kicking it off, $60,000 to the champion, $250,000 point fund, racingboys.com.
That's spectacular.
Going to have it all. Ashley, Ashley's from Pennsylvania, grew up going to Port Royal, and been digging through it. Thank God for Jeremy Elliott, does the reporting for Penn Live. Gosh, I'll tell you, he keeps us.
He's on top of his
He
game
is
for
on
Central
top of his
PA.
game. Really does a good job.
Absolutely.
A lot happening in Central Pennsylvania.
There is,
A lot happening, and it all seems to be really, really well. First off, on the track front, Selinsgrove under new management. Okay, Steve Inch, who is the former announcer there, is going to be the general manager. And they've got a lot of things they're working on. Of course, 360s are going to be the primary race vehicle there. But they've got 5 410 shows. But I love this. They have the All-Star Circuit of Champions. The All-Stars are going to be at Port on a Saturday night and Selinsgrove on a Sunday. Talk about a great combo.
Well, I don't know why more places don't do things like this back to back, like that going through the state of Pennsylvania. We know the Grove does it, that kind of thing. But 2 tracks like that are 45 minutes apart.
I know. There's a lot between the two of them. There's not a lot in Sprint, but they have a late model challenge, a Route 35 late model challenge. So I really like what Steve is doing at Selinsgrove. My gosh, Colton Gauss, we had a hunch that Colton Gauss is going to be a dynamo. And I know he hasn't promoted his first race. I get that, okay? But the work they are doing down there at Susquehanna is absolutely amazing. So can't wait to see what happens at Susquehanna. Colton Gauss has 7 410 races this year. On the driver front, Brent Myers, Brent Marks, the Myerstown Missile.
There
we go. He has
that
announced.
was easy for you to say.
Yes, exactly. He has announced this week that they are going to kick off their season. And Brent's been one of those guys that's done some traveling over the course of the last few years. They're going to Texas for the World of Outlaws. Their first race going to be February 26th at Texas.
I think you'll see him on the tour a little more.
Yeah, I think so too.
And he's proven himself.
Yes, ran really well. They have a big team fundraiser on Saturday night at the Fredericksburg Eagle Hotel.
Stop.
Now, you want to talk about a good time.
That's
and
what
he
I'm
has a new
saying.
baby girl, too. I think
Yes.
McKenna's her name.
Yes.
So all kinds of good things happening for Brent Marks. Ryan Taylor has a new ride, and it's with a former drag racer, Don Ream. Their focus is going to be on Williams Grove. Don has been very successful in the drag racing business, runs a speed shop up in Harrisburg, I believe it is. Been very successful on the drag racing side, but got tired of the travel. And met up with Ryan Taylor, and Ryan says, you don't have to travel only down to Mechanicsville on
Just
Friday
right
night.
here.
So they're going to focus on that. And I love this one. This is Lance Deweese going to drive for Donnie Kreitz.
Pretty cool, huh?
Really cool. I mean, Donnie, of course, we know had to call his career a little short. I'm not sure how much Donnie was going to go longer, but had those concussion-like syndromes, and Donnie being just the heads-up guy he is, just decided to bail out on the career, but he did not want to get out. In fact, one of his quotes he had was, we still need a car here at the speed shop to kind of know what's going on. Okay, so Lance Deweese, who we've seen Lance bounce around a little
He
bit.
has, yes.
They're picking up. They're going to run the time trial shows at Williams Grove. So not a huge
Full
schedule, but I am telling you what, you put Lance Deweese in a Kreitz prepared car with, by the way, crew chief Davey Brown.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah, Davey still wants to work on cars also. You put that trio at Williams Grove, and it don't matter whether you're posse, outlaw, or somebody else, they could whoop you.
That's right.
Anytime. And so we'll see what happens. Also factoring in is Donnie's daughter, Cassidy. She's going to run 305s this year.
Cool.
So we don't know if there's a future Kreitz racing there, but the seat will still be there along the way as well if she decides she wants to go and shows the skill. And finally, one of my favorites, Doug Esch, the Hammer, continuing to Mark Caldwin, which is great. This has been a good combination, but they have a new crew chief, Dennis Kohler, going to be the crew chief. They have had, Doug and Dennis have had success in the past.
Yes.
And Dennis going to kind of keep things whipped into shape over at Mark's place, and a lot of big excitement. I said this, and you know, and I've not lied to anybody. I'm not a huge historian of the sport of racing, but just what little I've seen in Central Pennsylvania, when Doug Esch is good, racing in Central Pennsylvania is better because he's that good of a racer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He
so
is.
really
and to
excited.
see him back with Mark's really cool too. I got the chance to chat with him at PRI, and he's excited.
Yeah, it really is. So a lot of good things happening up in Pennsylvania. Really, really cool. Some opening dates. We talked about the Top Gun Series coming up. That is this weekend. Next Friday night, Bubba Raceway Park, the All-Star Circuit of Champions. Volusia, the 12th of February is where the World of Outlaws kick it off. Let's see. And then, talking about Pennsylvania, the folks at Lincoln, the 27th. Icebreaker, and the coolers are already being iced down in Central Pennsylvania. Yeah,
I don't know if you'll need a cooler. You can probably just stick it in the snow right now.
I saw they had a bunch of it up there, that's for sure. California kicks off in, Marysville kicks off on February 27th, Silver Dollar, and they all start in the month of March. And then, of course, we build up to April 16th, Knoxville Raceway kicks off. Of course, Knoxville runs one of the shorter seasons. They run a little bit later, but MOA is on the 15th of April. IRA is on the 16th of April. So still a little time for the Midwest, which that makes sense. Should be a little more time, it seems like, for Pennsylvania, but they don't have to make sense up there. It don't have to make sense.
We just want to race.
Absolutely. So really, really good stuff along the way. And good stuff here today. It's been a blast hanging out.
Thank you. I love being here anytime to talk about my first love of sprint cars.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great stuff here. And we'll continue on all year long. Hey, this week on Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV, the Buckeye Bullet. Dave Blaney in studio.
Oh, cool.
Dave Blaney is coming back. Now, he's another one of those that went dirt, asphalt. Now he's coming back. He'll share all of his plans, but we cannot wait to hear from the Buckeye Bullet. That will be Saturday, MAV TV, 9:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. So going to be big fun to chat with Dave Blaney along the way. And I think, let's see, I've got that note done. I think we've got through everything.
Cocktails at Volusia?
Cocktails at Volusia. You had some down. No, you're down by the Gator Pond, right?
We are.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh. Well, we'll have to plan on that.
3 weeks of racing.
There we go. Thanks to Shane Stewart, to Danny Martin Jr., and to Frankie Kerr. More important than all of that, thank you for joining us here on Wing Nation, presented
You've
by
been listening to
Hercules
the nation's premier winged sprint car radio program, Winged Nation. Tune in next Tuesday at noon for more talk from the dirt tracks. Winged Nation is also available on demand in the MRN.com Media Center or download from iTunes or Stitcher. Winged Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.